Anna, what are you doing in my house?
Let there be carnage.
Oh yeah, that's what we're here to do today. It was my
Yeah,
turn to pick, so I chose my red goopy boy, Carnage.
indeed. And in the spirit of carnage, I brought a bunch of animals and possibly people, killed them, and hung them in his house.
So that's what that smell is.
Yup,
Kept thinking it was the carpets. I spent like $300 trying to clean it, but the smell just won't go away.
definitely not because I went to the bathroom.
Oh. Yeah, I originally wanted to choose Venom, but then I remembered there's a new Spider-Man game coming out in a few months, and he's gonna be in it, so we'd get a better look at him then. So, for the time being, we're doing my second favorite symbiote. Now, let's get into these tier names.
Oh,
First,
don't let him hear that.
yeah, yeah, I know, right? First off, we got Maximum Carnage, the best Carnage.
Indeed.
We have,
Let there be carnage.
which is pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good. We have a quote from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game,
You are the one who needs fixing, Spider.
which is just eh. They could have put a little more effort into it. Second from the bottom, we have Venom but red, which is pretty bad. They just drew Venom and made him red. And at the bottom, we have a quote that scarred me as a child.
Makes me want to cry, cry, cry seeing the future suits that you'll be presenting.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to start things off with something of a pet peeve. Yeah, so honorable mention. This isn't targeting anyone in specific, but from like 2006 up until we actually saw him in the movies, all those awful red Venom edits, they're going in, they need to die, die, die.
Yeah, no. That's fine. That's fair.
And you know what really grinds my gears?
What might that be?
All those lazy red Venom edits. They can die. I forgot to put them in here, but shh, they're going in die, die, die.
It's okay. By the way, if anyone disagrees, feel free to talk about it in the comments. Your hate comments will still give us more attention.
Yes, I crave the engagement. Alright, now to get into the tier list proper. I decided to start with the comics this time around just because I feel like a lot of these looks need context, like when we get into video games and whatever. So we're going to start off with the original concept for Carnage. Way back in the day, he was named Chaos, and I'm pretty sure he was intended to be female, but don't quote me on that.
You know, I actually kind of like it. It just the hair look and the body type and like the cool like lava-ish patterns around the body.
Yeah, you can tell this would have influenced the Scream symbiote a few years later, because it looks a lot like this.
Indeed.
You know, it is a first concept. I would say it needs fixing.
Needs fixing. You know what? I'd put it in Let There Be Carnage, but I'll agree with you on needs fixing.
Alright, needs fixing. Now, this next concept, it is a step in the right direction. He's actually named Carnage now, and it looks like he was originally going to be blue.
Da ba dee da ba die.
I do like this one.
I actually like this one less.
Really.
Yeah, it just like it looks a lot more like he looks more gloopy, but in the bad way.
Hmm.
And like his quote unquote hair just looks more like nonsense tendrils.
Alright,
It doesn't
so,
really look threatening.
tell you what. I will put it in needs fixing next to the first one.
Yep.
Alright, next up we have proper Carnage. The Carnage we all know and love. The artist Mark Bagley wanted him to look like the suit was constantly shifting around and always in motion. And I think with all the tendrils, it does get that point across.
And especially with like the coloration of like the mixes of reds and blacks, since obviously can't be consistent with it, it can always give that constant like
Yeah.
feeling of motion or move with the panels. I think
Oh,
that's one of the big brilliances of the Carnage design.
fun fact, do you know why it looks like this?
I
With all
might
the
that
red and the black?
is it the blood of his enemies?
No, it's because the symbiote was originally black, then it got into Cletus's bloodstream, and that's what made it red.
Ah,
I think this is Maximum Carnage right here.
this is Maximum Carnage.
Alright, next up. We have Carnage in the Planet of the Symbiote story, which is just Carnage, but he's big.
That damn boy, he got some.
He got
He got
big.
yeah.
I originally wasn't even going to put this on the list, but just for the novelty of a big Carnage. What do you think? I think he's gonna let there be Carnage.
He'll let there be Carnage.
Alright, next up. We have Carnage Cosmic, which is Carnage possessing the Silver Surfer. Now, my problem with this is that it looks like Carnage, sure, but you can't really tell it's possessing the Silver Surfer.
Aside from the surfboard.
Yeah. I think this is Venom but red territory for me. They just didn't go far enough with it.
Yeah, no, that's entirely fair. I'd give it more like it even feels a little cheaper just because of like the whole like tendrils coming out of the mouth because it reminds me of the Predator, but like
Yeah. Which doesn't really make sense when this is the Silver Surfer.
yeah.
Alright,
It's
next
like
up.
ooh, it's alien.
Alright, next up, this is cool. This is Spider Carnage. Carnage possessing a clone of Spider-Man. This is cool.
It is. I feel like this is one of the few instances where blue on a Carnage suit works.
Yeah, because it's also supposed to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
In the lower half of the mask turning black, that is cool. It's impossible to adapt in other mediums, as we'll find out, but this is cool. Maximum Carnage.
Maximum Carnage.
Alright, next up, this is from Carnage, It's a Wonderful Life, and he's doing his best J. Jonah Jameson impression.
Got turbocharged intellect now. Use it. John's got him soiling in their shorts with primal rage. Make the most of your Carnage bodies, kids.
I want to
Oh,
get
God.
J.K. Simmons to just do this entire monologue.
For real.
I like his sneakers.
He's got them pumped up kicks.
And he's got his tube socks. I like to think that this isn't even the symbiote. He just robbed someone's closet for this gag.
No, he didn't just rob someone's closet. He robbed someone's entire fucking chin bone, stole it from their face, and attached it to his own body.
Just for the gag.
Like, god damn, is that a mighty ass chin?
Okay. Does it need fixing or can it let there be carnage?
It certainly needs fixing. It's funny. I don't think this is really Carnage worthy.
Yeah. Alright, next up, we're going back to when Marvel and DC merged their characters. Would you like to guess who Carnage was merged with?
Good question. Let's find out.
They merged him with Bizarro to create Bizarnage. Bizarnage.
This looks like if Cletus was a KKK member and he just decided to wear his suit today.
Yeah. This looks like a proto anti-Venom, but
Yeah,
less cool.
it's so boring.
You know what? I think it needs to die.
Yeah, no, it can die.
Alright, next up is the MC2 universe, which is like a hypothetical future with the next generation and whatnot. This is possessing Peter's youngest son. Just looks like a standard Carnage.
I really enjoyed the particular face design on this one. It looks much more demonic.
Yeah. It doesn't really do anything new, but it does look really good regardless.
Let there be carnage.
Let there be carnage. Alright, next up, I'm cheating a tiny bit here, but this is the Spider, which is an alternate universe Peter Parker, which became a serial killer, and he had the Carnage symbiote.
Spider.
Eh. And he's just red.
He ain't Venom but red. He's Peter Parker but red.
Yeah, Venom but red. Yeah, Venom but red feels fitting for this one. All right, next up, we have him in
By the way,
what?
to remind everybody, we are not ranking this by like story or anything like that. It's just the design. This is just how we feel about it.
Purely how it looks. So if I have a problem with how some of these stories are written, this is not the video for that.
Exactly.
But please remind us how dumb we are in the comments section.
Yes, please give us that view count. Give us the attention.
We crave the validation. Anyway, next up is from the New Avengers Breakout. This is terrifying, and is technically just a red Venom, but the art style makes him terrifying.
Yeah, no, this has like the visceral detail of like the Killer Clowns from Outer Space makeup made by the fuck, I forget the brothers' names. They work on a lot of like horror shit on their own. Still, Maximum Carnage.
Yeah, he's terrifying. All right, next up, we have Carnage from the Ultimate Universe, which scarred me as a child. I should not have been reading this comic as a toddler, but this is cool.
Man, he's even got a dead body down there for bonus points.
Yeah, he drained all of its fluids to sustain himself.
Giggity.
He sucked him dry. Literally. Yeah, no, this is cool. Making yellow the secondary color instead of white is interesting, and he's got that glowing core. I like it. Maximum Carnage, I'd say.
Maximum Carnage. I would agree with you, especially for your childhood trauma.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some more childhood trauma in a bit. Next up, Carnage reappeared in the Ultimate Universe a little while later, and Venom but red.
Yeah, nothing new, and honestly, it looks a little bit more bland. Venom but red.
Not only does it not do anything new, it doesn't really do anything. Alright, next up is from Carnage's solo series. This, again, terrifying.
Carnage from Carnage.
Yeah, Carnage from Carnage. The art is amazing, but the design, it's just Venom but red again. It doesn't really do anything.
I mean, you could argue the face and the eyes. Like it looks a lot more it looks more like insect like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and from the neck down though, it's just red.
That's fair.
And I think he's Venom but red.
Alright, Venom but red.
Next up is from the same comic. This is all the Avengers possessed by the Carnage symbiote. And this is just lazy. It's the Avengers, but red.
Get off my lawn.
I think this bunch can die.
Yeah, no, they can die.
And you had the opportunity to draw the Avengers possessed by the symbiotes, and you just... That's what you do, really. Alright, next up, we have the Superior Carnage. That is actually what he calls himself. This looks pretty cool.
What can I say? Man's got an ego.
He sure does. This is another super villain who stole the symbiote, but you know what? He looks good doing it. I think he can let there be carnage.
He can let there be carnage, yeah.
Alright, next up is literally an issue later, he decides to change his look a little. He wants some guns and a trench coat. He already looked cool, but now he's trying too hard and looks less cool.
He looks so... His face in the shot looks so fucking goofy.
Yeah. He looks like he's gonna tell his friend not to come to school tomorrow.
Don't come to school tomorrow. I'm gonna pay. Make those bullies pay.
Now, I'm thinking needs fixing, but I kind of want to dunk on it even more. Just because it's guns in a trench coat. Come on.
Yeah.
It needs fixing then?
You know, I didn't really want to say the joke, but to me, he's like Reaper doing his alternate. You know, you want to know why?
Why?
Because he needs to fucking die, die, die.
Alright. Next up, this also needs to die, die, die. This is from Deadpool versus Carnage. Because, of course, they did that.
That sounds like such a cool idea, but the suit.
I mean, this looks awful, straight up.
I like what they did with like the veins being on the inside. I think it looks like cooler and more visceral and gritty, but it's just the design looks so plain.
It doesn't even
His-
look cool, it just looks gross, and not in a good way. I think it needs to die.
That's fair. But I will say his mask literally looks like the old school like scarecrow mask, like his goons.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Next up is what he also appeared in the comic itself. Again, this needs to die, die, die.
Yeah.
That boy needs to eat a sandwich.
Nah, that man needs like a number 9 large, number 6 with extra dip.
Carnage has always been on the skinnier side, but good God. He looks like he's been skinned.
Isn't that kind of the intention with his whole like bloody ass look?
Kinda, but this isn't in a good way. It needs to die. Next up, and Anno, I'm sorry for having to show this to you. This is from the Axis event where a bunch of heroes and villains got their personalities inverted, so Carnage actually tried to be a superhero. Carnage toes.
This ain't Venom but red. This is Spider-Man but red.
Also, that face is straight up Venom but red. This is a pet peeve of mine when they give Carnage a long tongue like Venom. Venom but red and also Carnage toes makes me want to put it in die, die, die.
Yeah, no, that's entirely fair.
If it wasn't for the toes, it'd be Venom but red. Alright, next up. This is interesting. This is the Red Goblin, which is Green Goblin with the Carnage symbiote. It does look cool. I'll give it that.
It does. He actually looks like a little imp instead of a goblin or a goblin from hell.
Yeah. What do you think? Let there be Carnage?
Yeah, I'd let there be Carnage. This is definitely a much more horrifying and more original take.
Alright, next up. Red Goblin actually had a few different designs. This one isn't nearly as good.
Okay, so character-wise, not so much. As a monster individually, I'd take it.
And the face is nice, but Red Goblin having so much white on him doesn't really work.
This is like Batman versus the zebra.
Yeah. I'm thinking needs fixing.
Needs fixing. That's fair. Oh, by the way, I do have a special Carnage suit. Usually, I save these for the end of the video, but I'm gonna post it now so we can vote on it at the end, just so that I don't forget.
Okay. Nice.
Maximum Carnage.
Maximum Carnage.
There we go.
Alright, next up is the third Red Goblin design. This is actually Green Goblin's grandson, who's like a kid. Why a kid has the Carnage symbiote, I don't know.
Why a kid looks so fucking ripped?
And symbiote just does that to people.
Gives them roids.
And it's fine. Doesn't really do anything, does it?
No, they. You know that triple K joke I made about the white Carnage.
Yeah?
Make him white.
Yeah. I will say, I do like that the head shape does kind of give that Green Goblin look to it.
I mean, I guess, but it's really lazy.
Yeah, and the rest of it just needs something.
He looks less like a goblin, more like a Conehead from that movie.
Yeah, what do you think? Venom but red?
Venom but red.
Alright, next up, this is from Venom Island.
Venom Island. You know what? Give me some backstory on this one.
I don't... It's a whole... this is the lead up to a very big event. We would be sitting here for hours just giving you context. But what I can tell you is that this is interesting because it's actually Eddie Brock with the Carnage symbiote.
Tuh.
It does look cool. I do like that poking out from the symbiote, you do see like actual muscle texture, giving that kind of skinned look, but in a good way this time.
Yeah, no, I actually really enjoy the texture, claws, and actually face on the suit. Like, it has that Venom but red, but in a good way.
Yeah, I like that the eyes and mouth actually glow on this one.
Instead of being an obnoxious yellow color.
Yeah. I'm thinking Maximum Carnage.
I'm thinking Maximum Carnage. There was some serious effort put into this suit.
Alright, next up is from the Absolute Carnage event. We got quite a few of these just from this one event. This is when he gets like a new upgraded ancient symbiote. This is just Venom.
I really like it, though.
And it doesn't really look like Carnage, though, is the thing.
I mean,
If this was
it's
a
a whole...
Venom design, it would work really well.
I'm sorry, it's just like the swirl without the eyes, the mouth and face structure, and just the whole like outer design of the red. It looks really sick.
Okay, I'll let you have this one.
All right. I'm not obvious. Well, I wasn't gonna give it Maximum Carnage in the first place, but just let there be Carnage.
Okay, I can live with it, but this is the next look he has in that event, which is a significant downgrade in my opinion.
Yeah, no,
Literally Venom but red.
literally Venom but red.
He's even got the logo. Venom but red.
Venom but red.
Next up is, this does look legitimately cool. This is like his final form in this comic.
God damn. Now that looks like Maximum Carnage right there.
And with the white logo and the black color scheme, it does look like Venom, but it just looks so cool.
The magma detail from before and like the red glowing accent parts.
This looks like it could be an awesome Doom boss fight.
Oh, for sure.
You know what? Contrary, even though this describes everything I had problems with the last one, this looks cool.
They did it right.
Yeah, Maximum Carnage.
Maximum Carnage.
Alright, next up, from the same event, these next two are actually Miles Morales with the Carnage symbiote. Or with a Carnage symbiote. I'm not really feeling this one.
I want to feel it, but I also can't. Like, it does some interesting things here, which
wanna-
I find...
You
Huh?
you want to feel it, huh? He's a child, Anno!
Fuck off.
That-
I'm younger than you.
that's-
Technically.
That's true.
Look. I will say this. Hell no. Hell no, okay?
Okay. And normally I like a sketchy art style, but just doesn't really work with this specific design.
The extra arms and like the implied like flaming eyes ish, I guess.
Yeah.
And the markings on the face. See, that looks cool. But it's so boring without texture.
What do you think? Needs fixing?
Needs fixing.
Alright, next up. This is a significant improvement. This is cool. Again,
Yeah.
it's Miles, but I think the face design elevates it a lot.
Yeah. He looks like a Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess boss.
I could see it. What do you think, Matt? Let There Be Carnage?
Let there be Carnage, yeah.
Alright, next up. I'm not sure what comic this is from, but this is basically how Carnage sees himself and, like, remembering his childhood. This is terrifying in a different way.
Yeah, no, it's just it's just the face that does it for me, and that like the empty mask eyes with the little actual eye stare.
And he looks like a serial killer child.
Looks like Chucky doing a Carnage cosplay.
Yeah. And if a kid walked up to me and he looked like this, I'd be scared. What do you think? Maximum Carnage?
Yeah, you know what? Let's go for it.
Just because this is terrifying.
Yeah, no, that's child comes in this. You might want to either send him to therapy or put him down.
Yeah. Alright, next up. Both of these are from the Venomized comic. It's my understanding this is Carnage, but they tried to control him by putting a Venom symbiote on him. Eh.
Uh, this looks like if you slapped Carnage, Venom together, and then made him into a conjoined YTP.
I'm not feeling it. Venom but
Me
red.
neither. Yeah, Venom but red.
And next up is like 2 pages later, he gets possessed by a poison symbiote, which is like anti-venom. This does look cool.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Now what do you think? Let there be carnage?
I feel like it doesn't feel enough like Carnage, so I put it in needs fixing.
Yeah, it needs fixing. Alright, next up, Marvel 1602, which is self-explanatory. It's Marvel in the year 1602. And I kind of dig it. Boy finally learned to put on some pants.
Yeah, that is an achievement that not many other symbiotes can achieve, or bother to.
Yeah, just put on some pants. What do you think? Needs fixing or let there be carnage?
It's creepy, and I like the pants design, but I just don't think it doesn't work completely together. So it needs fixing.
So you want Carnage to take his pants off? Is that what I'm getting from this?
No, I want him to get rid of that gawk mask he's about to put on you.
Alright, so needs fixing.
Yeah, it needs fixing.
Alright, next up, Agent Carnage. Agent Venom, but he's Carnage.
This
Again,
is like
literally.
Venom but red.
Literally, Venom but red. You see why I named this a tier after this.
Yeah, no, I knew this was gonna be a big part of this, but I didn't think it'd be this bad. Like I literally thought it'd be a copy paste and not them thinking, oh, we added spikes and axe arms, so therefore it's different.
Yeah, and Agent Venom could already do that. He already had spiky shoulders. He could already make axe limbs, so literally Venom but red. This is such a pet peeve that I named a tier after it. Anyway, is from some Marvel UK exclusive comics. And it looks cool, but it doesn't really do anything new, does it?
It's so boring.
Venom but red?
Venom but red.
Venom but red!
You're just having a Venom but red streak today.
Yeah. Alright, so I don't recall the name of this comic, but this is basically like a what if the world was consumed by a virus that turned everyone into cannibals.
So just Carnage.
Yeah, Venom but red.
Venom but red. Do I hear for?
Yeah, and this next one is better. This is from the Marvel Zombies universe. It's creepy.
The art style and just the design of that. I know they literally cut off half of him and turned into a Dark Souls boss, but sometimes it's all you need.
Yeah, and I do like that you could see like his organs just spilled out because there wasn't anything holding them in, so it's just an empty rib cage and spine.
Yep,
It looks creepy. I think he can let there be carnage.
he can certainly let there be carnage.
Next up is from Marvel Fairy Tales. Exactly what it sounds like. The art style's nice, but it's just not doing anything.
It looks like if you tried to actually like draw out PS2 graphics.
Yes. What do you think? Venom but red?
We'll put it in needs fixing. We'll be nice.
Yeah, just because the art style does make it look nice. Okay, I genuinely forgot what this is from. If I remember, I'll put it up on the screen somewhere, but it looks cool.
Feed the hot. Is this if the lizard man or the lizard whatever his name is got possessed by the venom symbiote?
Strong possibility. I'm just having a serious blank right now. It does look cool.
Yeah, no, it does. Like when Carnage possesses like a villain in the Spider-Man universe, chances are it's going to turn out good. I mean, aside from Venom, of course, but
Aside from possessing the Avengers.
well, the Avengers aren't villains depending on who you ask, depending on the continuity.
I read Civil War growing up. They can absolutely be villains.
I'm well aware. That's why I said what I said.
Yeah. Anyway, I think this can let there be carnage.
This can let there be carnage, yeah.
All right, next up. This is from the Mini Marvels comic, and this has no bearing on the tier list, but I want to give you context on how he's portrayed in this comic. So, Spider-Man and Venom are having a cookout, and Carnage is knocking on their door asking them if they have a moment to talk about their Lord and Savior, the God of Symbiotes.
That's gold.
Yeah. And he is adorable.
He is.
I think just because of how cute he is, he can let there be carnage.
He can let there be carnage for the good word of the symbiote god.
I hate the symbiote god, but that's not relevant to this. Anyway, next up, Gwenom versus Carnage. This is Spider-Gwen fighting the Carnage of her universe. First up, we have a variant cover. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Look,
Hear me out.
you know what? I can already tell very much that your dick is in control of the situation, so I'm just gonna let you put this in a tier list.
Maximum Carnage. All right, next up. Next up.
Everyone, Major is going to be beating his dick so hard, he's gonna look like a fucking hot dog in a microwave after 20 minutes.
Gonna look like Carnage after this. No.
Oh no.
All right, next up is what she appears in the comic itself. This is cool.
Yeah, no, this is that. So you know how they like most Carnage suits try to like get away with the stripe pattern but fail. I feel like with the variant of colors and how it kind of like moves with how the body moves, it actually works.
Yeah, and normally I don't like Carnage with the big Venom tongue, but I feel like with this it just works.
You know, I feel like you're.
Shut up.
I feel like your dick is
Shut
in
up.
control about it, dude.
Shut up. Let there be carnage.
Let there be carnage. You better not stop putting that gun to my head, buddy.
I promise nothing. All right, next up, we have the animated series. First off, I'm gonna give an honorable mention just because people would be mean to me if they thought I forgot it. Is Cletus and the Spectacular Spider-Man? He only showed up for that one shot. He didn't have any lines, and he never got the Carnage symbiote, so he's not going on the tier list. He's just there.
I was gonna put him on the meme, but I was like, he might already have it in there. So I think I made a good decision.
Yeah, and this isn't even going on the tier list. He's only being mentioned because people would say I forgot him. All right, but now
How could you forget that poor? He looks like Scrooge. He looks like.
he would definitely be a Scrooge. I don't think this man likes Christmas.
Yeah, no, he spent all of his time in a prison. I don't think he got anything for Christmas.
He got coal.
No, he didn't get coal. He got dropped soap.
Hear me out. Santa Claus canonically exists. He's an Omega level mutant, so this man definitely got coal. I'm not making that up. That is canon. Santa Claus exists in the Marvel universe.
That is hilarious. And if possible, we should do a Christmas special on that.
Maybe. Next up, Spider-Man the Animated Series. This is the Carnage I grew up with. He looks cool. And for the first animated depiction of Carnage, I think it works.
I feel like you're looking at this with a little too much nostalgia on the brain, because to me, and I grew up with this too, it literally just looks like Venom but red, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. Like, he's got the muscle shading and stuff.
Sorry, he's also got like a little bit of the shine detail. It's just the face that does it for me. Like the face kind of makes me like think Venom but red.
Tell you what, we'll compromise. I will put it in needs fixing.
Needs fixing, that's fair.
Alright, next up. This bothered me as a child, and well, not as a child, it just bothers me in general. This is how they adapted Spider Carnage. It doesn't work in this art style.
This is Hillbilly Tuckerdale Carnage Cletus the Third.
And specifically the face is what kills it for me, and those lips. The rest of it doesn't work in general, but it's the face specifically that bothers me.
I took a little bit too much chewing tobacco, and it kind of fucked with my lips and my teeth, so I can't really eat the way I used to.
I think he can die.
Yeah, he can die.
He does die at the end of that episode, so it works.
Good.
Spoilers for a 30-year-old animated series.
Exactly.
Alright, next up is in the sort of sequel show Spider-Man Unlimited. This one was weird. You can't really see it in this picture, but his neck is so long. He's got like a foot-long neck.
He looks like an SCP.
He looks like Venom, but red.
You know what? That's fair. Reggie. Venom, but red.
And next up is from the Ultimate Spider-Man show. They did a lot with Carnage. This is the first Carnage, which was Peter with Carnage. I don't like it.
He looks, instead of Spider-Man, he looks like Frogman with how wide those eyes are apart from the head.
Yeah. And again, I don't like when they give him a tongue.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest.
Venom but red.
Venom but red.
You see how much of an issue this is with him.
Yeah, no, I do.
Alright, next up is when the proper Cletus Carnage shows up. This is a significant improvement.
Yeah, no, it is. I put it in Let There Be Carnage, but I felt like they could have done more to make this, like, so much better rated. Like, maybe, like, make the red parts look more fleshy in texture, like actual muscle tissue.
Yeah, granted it is like a kid's show, so they couldn't do too much, but
that's fair.
This is Ultimate Spider-Man. I feel like they could have made him look more like the Ultimate Spider-Man version of Carnage.
That's fair.
I do like the hands, though.
The hands are amazing. They look really good.
I think needs fixing.
Needs fixing.
Alright, next up is the Carnage Queen. Hear me out.
Where are you even gonna stick it in?
The symbiotes can shapeshift. I'll find a way.
Oh my god, dude. I don't even believe in one you're making me right now, just so that I can smite you somehow. Oh, goodness. What do you want to rate it?
Okay, it doesn't really look like a Carnage, so I'll just put it in need fixing.
Needs fixing, yeah. No, instead it looks like a Star Wars extra.
Alright, next up. This was actually in the Guardians of the Galaxy animated series.
Oh.
I don't like it.
Yeah, no, he's just Venom but thick.
Yeah, so the problem with all these shows, this is in like continuity with the 2017 Spider-Man and the Avengers show that they had at the same time. They all have the same art style and the same animation budget of a ham sandwich. Nothing in these shows look good.
Yeah, no, that's fair. This looks like latex suit Slender Man. He went to the gym and decided to paint his core body red.
I think he can die.
Yeah, he can die.
That is my rant about this art style for the month. Next month, I will rant about it again. Alright, next up we have the Vidya Games.
Vidya Games.
This is the Amazing Spider-Man for the Game Boy Advance. You can't even tell that's Carnage. Are you done?
Yes. Sorry, it's just the pizza. It's the pizza Spider-Man calling my name.
Yeah, and you can't even tell this is Carnage.
Yeah, no, it's just Venom, but there's no color differentiation.
Venom but red? Except there's no red.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to put it in die just because of the limited graphics of the Game Boy at the time, but still.
There is green and dark green. Take it or leave it.
Yeah. Back then, you had to be happy with what you got. Next up, We're moving on to the NES. Spider-Man vs. the Sinister Six. It's better. I wouldn't call it good, but it's better. This is just Venom but red.
I'd agree.
Venom but red.
Venom but red.
Next up, Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage. He's the main star. He got his own game, more or less. He looks good.
Yeah, no, they gave him a significant glow up.
Yeah. What do you think? Needs fixing or let there be carnage?
Let there be carnage. It looks nice enough.
And next up, can only go up. To get a little better is Spider-Man Venom Separation Anxiety. He's a little more defined.
He is, but it looks less like cool and stylized and more awkward. Like the lighting is a little off to me.
So needs fixing.
Needs fixing.
Alright, next up is this is one of the first video games I ever played, but Spider-Man for the PS1. It's just Venom but red.
That face though, that genuinely scares the shit out of me.
Does he need to die or is he red Venom?
He needs to die.
Alright, next up is from the end of the game where Dr. Octopus gets the symbiote. This scared me as a child. I think they goofed by making the nose so high up.
And also it being, he looks like if a pit bull possessed Carnage.
I could see it. Does he also need to die?
He also needs to die, but this time with more prejudice.
I'm pretty sure he does die, but it's been so long. Next up, they remastered it for another console. I don't remember which one, but it does look better.
It does look better, and significantly more scarier in a good way.
Yeah. Needs fixing? I don't want to put it too high up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, needs fixing.
Next up is Monster Ock. Again, it's better.
Once again, Pitbull Carnage.
Red Venom or needs fixing?
Red Venom.
Just because it is better than the last time.
It's got a better textured body.
Yeah. Just on the virtue of having texture.
I just realized the nose also makes him look like if Angry Birds had a Spider-Man special and the pig was a symbiote.
Oh no. Alright, so next up, this is from the Ultimate Spider-Man video game. I think that does a really good job of adapting the look.
Yeah, no, I can see it. And also, the style, like, you know, like the high, like black outline style.
Yeah, just the general cel-shaded look.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look bad at all.
I think, do I want to put it in Maximum Carnage?
I feel like we're giving a little bit too much credit.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Let there be Carnage, though.
Let there be Carnage.
Alright.
Man, we say some of the wildest shit with just the most casual voice just because of these lines.
Yeah. Ah, yes. There it is. We actually got some concept art, which is very hard to find. It only showed up in, like, a bonus feature for the limited edition of the game. It looks interesting, but I do prefer what we ended up getting.
Yeah,
I think it needs fixing.
it needs fixing.
It's not bad, it's just not as good as the final product.
Exactly.
Alright, next up is from the PSP port of Spider-Man Friend or Foe. He only appeared in the PSP version.
Venom but red.
Yeah, just because it didn't do anything interesting. Just kinda
Not even any moving body parts. The texture's kind of lame.
Yeah, the concept art, however, is much better.
Yeah, no, that definitely has a lot more personality to it.
Yeah, it's got the moving parts. I do like the hunched over physique. That makes it stand out.
Makes Carnage look more, you know, unhinged and feral.
Yeah, I think he can let there be Carnage.
Yes.
Alright, next up is from Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. It is creepy.
Oh my goodness, that's so good.
That is creepy.
Genuinely.
What do you think? Maximum Carnage or Let There Be Carnage?
Maximum Carnage just for the face and the blade hands alone.
And next up, he had one alternate costume in this game. This is supposed to look like the ultimate version. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a downgrade, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it looks way too plasticky, first of all. The texture just doesn't work.
He looks like an actual toy.
He looks way too orange. I think he could die.
Yeah, definitely.
Next up, Marvel Superhero Squad Online Carnage for kids. For kids.
I know, and that's the problem. Look, it even says as the redeem code cringe.
Yeah. Does he need to die, or is he just Venom but red?
It's a kid show, so I'll just give it Venom but red.
I just love the absurdity of him being in a game specifically for kids.
I know, it's concerning.
Next up, they had Spider Carnage as a skin. It's better than the other one.
Yeah, it has more moving parts.
It's a decent adaptation of the look in this art style.
Yeah,
This can go in needs fixing.
needs fixing. Yeah,
Just because I don't want to give it that much credit.
yeah, no, that's fair.
Next up, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions Ultimate Carnage. This looks like a massive glow up from Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, definitely.
They
Kind
amped
of
up.
moving parts though, but
And he does, it's just that it's hard to get a good screenshot of them.
fair.
Like, he does a lot with shape-shifting and goopy bits in the actual game. I think this can go in Maximum Carnage.
I agree with you.
And next up, Marvel Avengers Alliance. This was just a Facebook game. Venom but red.
Venom but red.
And it's a Facebook game, so I don't expect much, but I'm still let down somehow. Next up, I will try and not let my biases get to me, because this is one of my favorite video games of all time. Marvel Heroes Omega. Basically just Diablo, but with Marvel. Default skin isn't that good, I'll admit.
Yeah.
He's got the moving bits, but Venom but red. And he's
Yeah.
got the toes!
Carnitos.
What do you think, Venom but red?
Venom but red. But on a side note, Diablo 4, awesome game. Anyways, back to the review.
I do like Diablo-like games, but I haven't had much experience with an actual Diablo. I played a little bit of the first one. That's about it. Next up is the only skin he got in Marvel Heroes, which was Spider Carnage. This looks awesome.
It does, yes. Looks a little too shiny, but if the atmosphere is like that, then I can excuse it.
From what I remember and what I can tell here is that the blue bits are a little more muscly than the red bits, which is interesting. Got a little bit more of a muscle texture. And this has no bearing on the tier list, but I love that they actually got a different voice actor for this specific skin. They got the guy who voiced Spider-Man in the 90s animated series.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty sick.
Yeah. So you have him screaming at the top of his lungs just with Carnage lines. I think this can let there be Carnage.
Just can let there be carnage.
Next up, we got the Lego games. This is from Lego Marvel Superheroes.
My friends used to be obsessed with this stuff.
The Lego games.
Yeah, I had a lot of people who were like way into Lego. I mean, I was too, but I'm not really much of a Marvel or DC guy, like especially in Lego form. So,
And the games are fun, but
yeah, for sure.
I like the face, but not so much the body. And I would say it
We're
needs
going for it.
fixing.
Needs fixing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, I'd say it's a glow up for the most part. His arms and legs actually have texture.
Yes.
I don't like the eyes as much, but the rest is an improvement.
Yeah, the rest is.
And you can tell they actually tried to give him some moving goopy bits.
It's very hard to do in Lego though, so I can kind of excuse it.
Yeah, I'd say let there be Carnage.
Let there be carnage.
And next up, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game is Cletus when he's not quite Carnage yet and he hasn't quite powered up, but he's getting there.
I think it's kind of cool.
I feel like they don't really go far enough with the half Carnage look. Maybe give him some sharp teeth or something.
Maybe have some claws on one hand.
It would help if this game actually had a budget.
Yeah, true. Needs fixing.
Yeah. Venom but red.
Venom but red, sure. Cletus but red.
Cletus but red. Next up is his fully like Carnage form. This looks cool.
It does.
And he actually does. He looks like he's been skinned alive again, but in a good way this time.
Yeah, this time without those grainy vein details.
Yeah. I think this can let there be Carnage.
Let there be carnage.
Alright, next up, Spider-Man Unlimited. This was like an endless runner game. I'm not adding every single iteration of Carnage just 'cause there's way too many and I don't have anything to say about them.
Aren't we at like say like 80% of most of the Carnage suits at this point?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just
Gotcha.
normal Carnage. This is just boring.
Yeah, I have to agree.
And again, they give him the tongue.
The tongue, the cursed tongue, and
Venom-
the toes. I think I see toes. No.
The toes aren't in view. I have a
Ah.
sneaking suspicion he has toes, but
Yeah.
he gets a pass for now. But if I see toes, he's gonna die.
The Carnage toe enthusiasts are gonna have us on a cross.
They can fight me. And next up, Marvel
Let them
Avengers
come.
Academy. This is a hard game to describe. Like, you have the
like-
entire Marvel universe, but they're like college students?
I thought it was The Sims.
Yeah, kinda. Yes and no. And you get to like upgrade them into their actual superhero forms. It's a dumb concept, but it's a mobile game that had no right being as fun as it was. And he looks okay. He doesn't look good.
It needs fixing. Or do you want to be a little bit harsher with this one?
You know what? He can die.
You can die.
He's gonna die. Alright, next up, we have Carnage in Fortnite. This is just his movie design, but in Fortnite. It works in the movie. I don't like how overly shiny his body is. The tongue!
The cursed tongue
The cursed tongue! I'd say needs fixing.
needs fixing.
Alright, next up, we're moving on to the live action, which isn't a lot but more than you would think. Except Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, the musical.
The musical.
Yes.
I'm gonna say it again. Shiny!
For a musical, it looks decent. That head is way too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I respect them for trying to make it look like he's got all the moving parts. In a Broadway production, there is no way they could possibly pull it off, but they tried.
Needs fixing.
Yeah, it needs fixing just because I respect the effort they put into it. Alright, next up. Before we get into the movie itself, I wanted to show off this concept art. This would have been from like the church fight when he's doing the mock wedding and he's his own minister.
Oh, but it looks so cool.
I love the idea.
It looks so cool in a horrific way, and I love it.
Yeah, I would have loved to see this in the final movie.
Same.
I think he can let there be carnage. Now, we have what he looks like in the actual movie. I love it. I love how gross he looks. Like, the tentacles aren't just goopy. They have, like, sinew and tendons holding them together. What do you think, Mr. Anno?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, no, this needs to be Maximum Carnage.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would have preferred a bit more black on him, but you know what? For our first live-action Carnage, they did a great job. And this time, I brought the memes.
You brought the memes?
I brought the memes.
Have you supplied ample amount of memes?
Yes.
Do it.
This is again from the Axis comic where he's trying to be a superhero. You can't rob a bank if I burn it down first. And he's not wrong.
This is big brain time.
Yeah. And fun fact, I actually drew that myself back in the day. And so back in the day, I ran like an out-of-context Spider-Man Tumblr blog where I just post Spider-Man and related characters panels without context for funsies. and I drew that just to respond to this panel.
It looks so good though. Like it looks like something I'd actually like find on Google.
Yeah, I've actually seen this exact image floating around, and I have like an odd bit of pride for it.
You should.
Just because people are actually using this out in the wild.
That's so sick.
I should not have put this much effort into it, and yet I did.
You did, and you birthed something wonderful.
Thank you.
Maximum Carnage.
Maximum Carnage. Anyway, that's like well over 80 Carnage designs. How do you feel after this, Mr. Anno?
I feel like I could have killed some more people. Maybe like maybe made the walls a bit more fleshy in appearance. But still, the review was very much a good break from this.
You know, I feel like well over 80 Carnages. You should have killed like 80 people.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. I feel really bad now. I'm gonna have to dunk some acid in here.
Yeah, those are some rookie numbers.
Exactly,
And
rookie numbers. How could I make such a mistake?
Yeah, you noob, you plebeian.
I'm a plebeian.
Any closing thoughts, Mr. Anno?
Yeah. Be sure to subscribe to Major Disaster. Like, hit the bell icon. Save them on a playlist. Share them with your friends. This guy is awesome, and I've had so
Yes.
much fun doing stuff with him.
Leave comments to let us know how awesome we are or how stupid we are.
Exactly.
I know we are very stupid sometimes.
Definitely, especially me.
And next time is your turn to pick the tier list subject. Who's it gonna be?
Let's just say I've got some little I've got some pretty good I've got some pretty good things. It might be a bit out of the box from what we do normally, and it may not. I've got a few suggestions. I'll run them through by you.
Ooh. All right. Peace out.
Peace out, y'all.